EOM Business Network. So much for one broadcast.
Hello there, a very beautiful day to you, and thank you for joining us. You're watching the EOM Business Network, indeed, the voice of corporate Nigeria. I am Olorogo Elkanah Mowari. Today on the program, we shall be taking a look at the Nigerian economy from the viewpoint of industry operators. And so on Let's Talk, we shall be taking a look at CLEANSERVE Integrated Energy Solutions Limited. On Spot On, we shall bring you a quintessential gentleman, experienced leadership professional, business management mastermind, vision-driven entrepreneurial mogul, and industry captain, Sonny Ehalume, who is the managing director and chief executive officer of Bridge Clinic, Nigeria's pioneer and ISO certified IVF center, and one of the most distinguished lifetime achievement awardees to look out for in 2024. And on the face-to-face is a certified legal practitioner, experienced project management strategist, team player, purpose-driven entrepreneurial expert, and industry captain, Oluwatosin Jolayemi, who is the group managing director and chief executive officer of Daily Needs Group, Nigeria's foremost pharmaceutical and personal care manufacturing company, and indeed one of the most distinguished CEOs to look out for in 2024. This is a must-watch. Stay with us. Barrister Patience Dakba is the group managing director and chief executive officer of Masters Energy Oil and Gas Limited, a frontline diversified oil and gas group of companies in Nigeria.
Master Energy started in the year 2005, buying and selling of petroleum products, but with the aim of having the largest storage facility in the sub-Sahara, and that came to pass in 2009 when we commissioned the 156,000 metric ton of storage facility in Port Harcourt, Rumilumini, River State. So ever since, we've been doing well by the grace of God. Our vision is to be the world benchmark in the oil and gas industry. And then our mission is to provide value-enhancing services, sustainability, following global best practice, and meeting stakeholders' expectations. And then, of course, we can achieve that through integrity, ethical, customer satisfaction, and excellence. We believe all stakeholders in our business are very crucial. Aside buying and selling of the white products, we veered into manufacturing. Right now, as I speak, we are into the production of noodles, which is called Masters Noodles. And then we are also into the lubricants. You know, we have all grades of lubricants. We have, you can see it here, we have the SAE 20W50, which is a high grade. We have the Scent 1, Masters Energy Scent 1, which is for high valued cars. We also have the Master Super Motor Oil SAE 40. These are all good grades of lubricants which can respond to changes in the temperature due to its elasticity and high relative viscosity index.
Chris Ndulue is the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of CLEANSERVE Integrated Energy Solutions Limited, a frontline aviation support solutions provider in Nigeria, and indeed one of the most distinguished CEOs to look out for in 2024.
Yes, CLEANSERVE Energy, as I want to call it, it has a little longer name. Was started sometime in 2010, and So it's been around for some time. It has met some success. It has actually gone through ups and downs also. So that's it's an oil and gas marketing company, but we are primarily focused on providing aviation fuel to the aviation industry, both foreign and local airlines in Nigeria. The vision we have of the company is that of a world-class aviation services provider. That's the vision we have of the company. The mission is to become a service provider of repute, one that is a service provider of choice to our customers, and one that also delivers value to our stakeholders, both our staff and our shareholders and the government. Maybe geographically we have not spread outside Nigeria, but in Nigeria I think we have been able to achieve our mission in Nigeria. That global vision of being a service provider or a marketing company that is known worldwide for what it does, that's still something that we are looking forward to in the future. Our service is primarily providing aviation fuel to the airlines. We are a mono-product company, so to speak. The process of diversification is something that we still have to deal with. But basically, we are focused on providing aviation fuel.
We are called CLEANSERVE Integrated Energy Solutions Limited. We are a world-class energy marketing company positioned to provide all aspects of aviation fuels. CLEANSERVE leverages on technology and automation unique web of leading aviation fuel experts and strategic partners to offer the industry a comprehensive set of solutions. At CLEANSERVE, we deliver high-quality, safe, and timely aviation fuels. CLEANSERVE Integrated Energy Solutions Limited. Clean energy at its best. Sonny Ekalume, a quintessential gentleman, experienced leadership professional, project management strategist, vision-driven entrepreneurial expert, and industry captain, is the managing director and chief executive officer of Bridge Clinic, Nigeria's foremost and ISO-certified IVF center, and indeed one of the most distinguished lifetime awardees for 2024.
IVF is expensive anywhere in the world. That is the fact. And the reason is because of the input cost and what it entails. More so, especially in Nigeria, if you run an IVF clinic, you must have power 24/7. You know what that means in terms of cost of running generator and paying for electricity. Then also is the medical consumables that we use. They are all imported, and you know what the cost of dollar recently has been doing. So IVF is expensive, but again, as a clinic, we take cognizance of the fact that people require this service, and we put that at the back of our mind when we are also determining our cost. Because you are caught in between, should medical services be a social service or a for-profit service? So, but I think it should be between the two, okay? Except if it's run by government and government decides to subsidize it. But somebody must pay the cost, okay? So we are in between the two. Because, we are rendering a social service, but for us to also still continue to be in business, we must make enough to also continue to run and to be able to provide more of that service to people. But IVF generally all around the world is an expensive procedure. I think the critical factors is our patient care. Okay, we place premium on that, and we treat our patients like gold, of which they are. All right. For everyone that walks into Brick Clinic, we want them to leave satisfied. And one of the ways we ensure that is through our quality management system, which I've mentioned to you. So that has helped us to grow over the years. People have an understanding that if they come in, they will get the best of care from Bridge Clinic. So we've been able to manage that effectively and to manage our image as the leading fertility brand in Nigeria. We have a partnership with a few foreign organizations, and one of them is Quality Austria, based in Austria, as you can deduce from the name. Quality Austria certifies our quality management system every year, and then they issue us the ISO certification. And that is very important for a fertility clinic because that assures consistency of results and quality in patient care. Like I also mentioned, we just opened Brick Clinic in London, and we have that partnership with our office in London, collaboration between the two countries to ensure that that the quality of service we provide is of international standard. Yes, some hold that position, but it's not correct, in the sense that, like I mentioned, we do not manufacture babies. Fertility clinics, IVF clinics don't manufacture babies. They only give couples a chance at conception. Okay, that is what ART or IVF is about. And my personal belief is that, looking at it from the religious perspective, there is nothing wrong with it. Okay, in the sense that if you have a headache, you seek treatment in a hospital. If you have cancer, you seek treatment. If you have ulcer, you seek treatment. So if you have infertility issue, you also seek treatment.
Piles can be so irritable. It itches badly, causes inflammation of the rectum, and gives so much pain and discomfort. But here comes the solution: Anadol. Anadol suppositories contains bismuth subgalate, balsam peru, and zinc oxide to give you relief from the irritating effects of piles and hemorrhoids. Get Anadol and get your life back. Anadol suppositories for relief.
Oluwatosi Jolayemi, a certified legal practitioner, experienced project management expert, team player, purpose-driven entrepreneurial expert, and industry captain, is the Group Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of Daily Need Group, Nigeria's foremost pharmaceutical and personal care manufacturing company, and indeed one of the most distinguished CEOs to look out for in Nigeria in 2024.
For me, I'm one of the believers in the grace of God, and I believe that there's no business, a successful business without a spiritual angle. And regardless of whatever country you operate, to succeed in business, you need a spiritual dimension, and it depends on which spirit you want to drive your business. So as far as I'm concerned, what has help that business is the special grace of the Almighty God, and we're totally sold on that. Daily Need started as a trading concern, Matthew Medicine stores that evolved into Daily Need Chemists, and by 1970-72 it became a manufacturing concern. Before, in the last 40 years, we devolved solely to pharmaceuticals. The need for the transformation is the need to be able to catch up with the economic growth and to be able to diversify from being a trader to be an owner of brand and to be a manufacturer. So
The progress of the link has been organic, basically, where we have just gone from one step to the other. And even in investment, we have been trying to go organically. And that has been the way we have started since the 60s by the founder, Joba. The mission is to provide premium brands, pharmaceutical brands, that is world class, in order to help the society at which we operate. That mission is still what drives us. Producing premium brands. What we are premise or what we pride ourselves on is the quality of our brand. And what we do is, even when we produce any brand, we match it with all available similar brands of international quality. We take it to our lab, we analyze each product, and we compare. And our aim is to have a better product. So in the categories that we operate, in any category that we operate, either in the pharmaceutical sector or FMCG sector, what we have done is we make sure that the quality of product that we bring out to the Nigerian market is the best as far as we're concerned. And we always stand to be corrected. We strive for quality, quality, quality. The core values of the business is all about quality, integrity, and transparency. We pride ourselves that apart from the quality, we must have integrity. Because without integrity, you cannot adhere to the quality of your products. And even at that, you must be transparent about it. So there's no need to hide anything from anybody. This is who we are, and that is what we do. So that's basically that's our core value. We're a manufacturing business, so we're basically a production concern. And of course, we're pharmaceuticals, we're in production of syrups, we're in production of solid dosage, which are the tablets. We're in production of ointments. We were one of the first people to produce suppositories locally. We do even antibiotics, some of them dispersible tablet locally. And we have a number of products that are still coming out. So for all that we try to do, we just try to grow organically while keeping our values in focus and not trying to chew beyond what we can swallow, basically. So just trying to work within the ambit of the grace that we have. Well, in the last 10 years, I think there's been a tremendous growth in the FMCG space, and that could easily be adjudged to by the influx of investment that has come into the market. The FMCG sector of the economy is probably the fastest growing one apart from the service industry and the high-tech, because of the volume that the society, the Nigerian society, can give you. Because if you look at us in Africa, they said we're almost 200 million. The FMCG market in a population that has 200 million is huge. And what you must note again is whatever we do in Nigeria goes outside Nigeria, goes to Cameroon, goes to Niger, goes to Benin Republic, goes as far as to Mali. So like in the West African hub of Africa, Nigeria is the manufacturing hub. So the FMCG group, as in the development of the FMCG business in Africa or in Nigeria or in West Africa, rests solely on the Nigerian economy. And that's why you could see the growth. You're seeing new entrants, you're seeing new businesses come up, new brands coming into the market. And that's, for me, it's quite encouraging, regardless of whatever it is that we see out there. What that meant is the factories and their factories. What that meant is that you have decided to take your factory like a notch up. What you have done is you've tried to build a new facility that will compete. Now, if you have a factory that is a CGMP factory, that is a current manufacturing practice factory, it's different to a factory that is not
current manufacturing practice factory. Now, to have a factory that is similar to what WHO would want to look like, that means you probably have to get consultants in, probably bring your factory from scratch and build from scratch to meet the specs. Now, meeting the specs of WHO is a different thing entirely, because that means WHO would have to come, they have to check your HEPA filters, they have to check your flow life, your workflow, they have to check a lot of things. They have to check your air pressure, the air temperature, the humidities, and also to make sure that it conforms with the standard that they require. And that's the process, right? But if you build a factory that even could meet or fits the ambience before you now go into the process. So what we have is a factory that has been built that could easily meet the standard, and we're in the process of a WHO qualification. So that's why it is said you have a factory that is GMP/WHO factory. Our factory is in line to what they require. Well, the manufacturing sector in Nigeria for me, is interesting. It's the most interesting sector in the economy. And why I said that is depends on how you look at it. A lot of Nigerians look at manufacturing as a no-go area. You shouldn't go there. There's too much trouble. There's so many problems. But for me, manufacturing is interesting because it's interesting in the fact that there's no boredom. You cannot predict. You can get to work today and another issue will come in. There's always an excitement. In a week where there's no activity, where there's no up and down, it looks boring. But you get to work as a manufacturer, you are expecting issues. And maybe the expectation of issues is what makes it more interesting. Is either you are low on diesel, if you are using diesel, or there's no power and you have to get an alternative to power, or you have run out of one material that somebody has to go and get, or you've run out of packaging materials. You see, those dynamics, as much as you see it, it depends on how you see it. If you see it as a problem, it becomes a problem. If you see it as an interesting outfit, if you see it as an interesting outlook to life, because there's no certainty in life. So what manufacturing gives you is the ability to cope with the pressures of life. And there's no boredom. There's always an excitement. Either your staff are following your hand, or materials are short, or your suppliers are increasing price unnecessarily. Something must make you just want to engage. And for me, it makes it interesting. So I don't see the problems, or I don't see them as problems. I see them as activities that just makes you to think out of the box in order to solve. So I think manufacturing is quite interesting. If I left Daily Need today, I can't do anything other than manufacturing, and that's the truth. It's not today. It didn't start today. I guess it's because of our colonialism and what we've been trained to believe. I guess in the early 1940s, 1950s, when our fathers were growing up, there were no local manufacturing, and most of the goods came into the country, and they got entrapped in brands. And these brands eventually came into the country in the 60s or the 70s, and these are the brands that we were used to. So by the time the Nigerian manufacturing industry, as a Nigerian-owned companies, and during the nationalization policies came into being, and Nigerians are beginning to go into industries, people were deciding to be loyal to the brands they knew, vis-a-vis the brands they do not know. Now, in any part of the world, and if you look at it, we'll take Taiwan or China. When you start manufacturing, you cannot go from 0 to 100. There's always a process. You start, then you perfect, then you buy machines to become better, you buy equipment to become neater. And that process was what resulted into human degrading one product as not good and good enough. Now, by the time these products become good, you already have a preconceptive notion that the product is not good. And it's not only in Nigeria, it's general in Africa. I was in Ghana and I realized that in Ghana, if your product is not made in the UK or made in Bangladesh or made in Singapore or made in China, you will struggle to sell. But the moment it carries a foreign connote, it's easy to sell. So it's not just a Nigerian problem, it's an African problem. And I think it goes as far back as to the era of colonialism, the introduction of products, we were organic, and introduction of brands into the system. And it was given down and it's being passed down. And it's basically about education, really. If we can educate ourselves, as in there's a conscious and deliberate effort to educate the people to say these locally manufactured products are equally as good as the one imported. Take for instance the cars that are manufactured in Nigeria. We won't become a Mercedes tomorrow. We will not become a BMW tomorrow. Right? It's just that the process is, as long as Nigeria continues to buy the brand, the owners of the brand will become bolder, will become resolute, will become determined to improve their brand. I remember when a certain brand of cars came into Nigeria, that was Kia. A lot of people didn't want to touch Kia. They'd rather buy a Daewoo Racer than buy a Kia. But if you see the value or the quality of Kia cars on the road now, they're like, oh, I'm beginning to check this car out. So, and that is how it is. For those that are doing cars, it will take a while. And in manufacturing, it has taken a while. And it will always take a while. But the people must understand that the way forward for a nation is being self-reliant.
There are common features about successful people. They are healthy and active with a mindset to win. They start their day with a good meal and support their systems with Didion syrup of hemoglobin vitamin B12. 2 spoonfuls of Didions taken straight or mixed with your beverage for the office, gym or picnic keeps you in top form all day and you are always good to go. Didion syrup of hemoglobin. You are good to go.
Special television report featuring ARKLAND Group, a frontline real estate development and management company in Nigeria. Watch out.
Your rating agencies. We're trying to get to a stage where we'll start.
And that's a good point to call it a wrap on today's package of the EOM Business Network. Thank you very much for spending your valued time with us. We hope it was worth a while. But just in case you missed out on any aspect of it, then you can come with us to any of our other portals, as you can see on the screen. Our sincere gratitude to you, our sponsors, for your continued interest and support. Always remember, with you and us, we are champs. Oh yes, I remain Olorogo Elkanah Moari. Please, let's do this again, same time, same channel next week. We'll see you then.